Internet, Eric here. I am back. It is still Shark Week, still uploading, God willing, one shark movie related video a day until the live stream on Saturday night. Going through the Jaws movies, and I have another Is It Worth the Hate video. I haven't done one of the, well, no, I did. I did one on Queen of the Damned a week or so ago. Anyways, if you don't know what that is, it's where I take a movie that I haven't seen, and tonight's movie I saw maybe once or twice as a kid. I'm 40 years old, so I probably haven't seen it in over 30 years. So, and I remember nothing, pretty much. So that means I haven't seen it, and see if it's worth the hate. You know, people say, you know, critics hate it, fans hate it, everyone craps on it, type of thing. And you know, last video I talked about Jaws 2. Thought it was okay. Today, obviously, if I'm following up Jaws 2, I'm going to see if, in my opinion, if Jaws 3 is worth the hate. Now, this came out in 1983. If you're new to my channel, welcome, blah, 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 plot spoilers, all that stuff. I did a little research to see how much this movie is hated, and by that, I just got a couple scores and stuff like that. IMDb, you know, with, you know, votes, gave, you know, the total score is a 3.7 out of 10. And, of course, the good old Rotten Tomatoes, critics gave this an 11%, and the audience gave it a 17. Okay, let's go from there. So, the basic plot of this movie is it's fucking Jaws 3. Now, this is the one that's in 3D. Once again, we're following the Brody family. This time, it's Mike and younger brother Sean. Mike is now played by Dennis Quaid, one of his earliest roles, and they're now at SeaWorld, because why the fuck not? Basically, what happens is shark gets into SeaWorld and hilarity ensues. That's what these movies are. Okay. All I remember from this movie is a couple of scenes. And I remember my Aunt Carolyn, God rest her soul. When I was a kid, I remember how she said she saw this in theater and she absolutely loved it. Again, it was 1983. Let's first get to the characters. Dennis Quaid, he's pure Dennis Quaid in this. He's likable, charismatic. He's got that fucking Cheshire cat grin. He's intense. He yells a lot. He's Dennis Quaid. He's likable and he's fine as Mike. The actress who plays his girlfriend, she is like the lady who trains the dolphins. She's likable too. She is not just generally this damsel in distress character. She is smart. Has great chemistry with Dennis Quaid. Doesn't put up with anyone's bullshit. Stands up to Lia Thompson Jr., who I'll get to. You know, really good female character. Lia Thompson Jr., he is the owner of the park, or at least the boss, the guy in charge, and he's one of the people that everyone always mentioned. I thought he would be more of a scumbag in this. He's just a businessman. He's an asshole, but he's just a businessman. But he's Lia Thompson Jr., and he's got some charisma in this too. I love the scene where he's having dinner with some investors, and he's just bullshitting with them, and he's telling them what they want to hear, and then suddenly, you know, a phone call comes in. He said, this better be important, blah, 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 and attitude changes right then and there. So he's fine. He's good as the jerk, I guess you would say. Other characters, Lia Thompson. This is, I think, her first movie before Back to the Future, before Howard the Duck. She's just there. She's nothing special. She's likable. She's bubbly. You get to see her in a bikini. So that's it. Other characters, not very memorable. You have the one guy that's hired. I don't know if he's British or Australian. He's there to help catch the shark. 1 second. Sorry about that. Had a coughing fit. Other characters, they're just there. But overall, the characters are good. I really like this movie. Is it worth the hate? No. Because you know why? It's pure 80s. You have lots of montages of people in the speedboats, water skiing, this and that. There's lots of fun to this. The shark is menacing in parts. You find out one of the twists in this is there are two sharks. There is a scene where they actually catch the shark that is attacking. And it ends up being a very small great white shark. And, of course, that shark died. They're going to kill it. They want to kill it. But then, of course, Lia Thompson Jr. and Dennis Quaid's girl, they are like, this will be the first ever great white shark in captivity, alive. Let's keep it. They decide to do that. Eventually, the shark dies in the grounds, and that's when Mama comes to save the day, or not to save the day, but to get revenge. The shark, like Marty McFly says, shark still looks fake. It does, but you know what? It looks fine in the close-ups that it needs to do. It does some fucking damage. It's chewing people up. It slices Lia Thompson's leg, and for pretty much what looks like a no budget outside of like set design, her leg looks pretty gnarly. There is a scene which I kind of like, because this is also kind of cheesy. I think that, like I said, Australian or British or whatever, the guy, he gets eaten, and we get to see him go in the shark's mouth, and then we get a point of view shot from inside the shark's throat. We see the man inside the mouth, the inside of the teeth and the jaws clamping up and down. We hear the crunchy noises. We see the blood. That's fun. Let's see. A lot of people shit on this because of the 3D effects. Look, you're watching this on TV, like I did. The 3D effects without the glasses are always going to look like shit. Always. They looked awful and gimmicky in Friday the 13th Part 3. I'm sure they did in that Amityville sequel. What do you expect? You're going to have to lower your expectations if you're watching a 3D movie, a movie that was shot for 3D, to watch in the theaters with glasses, and you're watching it on TV in 2D. It's going to happen. But you know what? For what they were, this would have been cool to see in 3D. The opening scene, like the opening credits, full out in your face, kind of like Friday the 13th Part 3. This was one of the two scenes I remembered. We get to see like a gigantic fish. I don't know if it's a tuna or whatever, and then it's swimming by, and then suddenly you hear a crunch, and then we just see its head floating in 3D. That would have looked neat. We have some gimmicks. We have like, eventually there's an underwater, fuck this, I would never go to this underwater part of SeaWorld, where you're literally underwater in these tunnels, and you get to see all the fish and this and that. Fuck that. I would never do that. I would literally probably have a panic attack. There is a part of that, I don't want to say ride, but I don't know, part of the park, you know what I say? And people are attacked by faked, squid and octopus tentacles, barracuda shootout, the gimmicky stuff. I will say this: when it's not the gimmicky stuff like shooting at the camera, when you can tell it's special effects, it does look shitty, like the tuna. And then, of course, we'll get to the point where Jaws is defeated. I love how Jaws is defeated. Jaws is defeated. It eats the dude that's not in the United States. I keep bringing him up. And his thing was, he was going to kill the baby shark with some grenades. Told not to do it, so he didn't. But again, that comes up later. He's got the grenades when they're hunting Mama Shark. And as he's getting chomped on, he's got a grenade in his hand. And Jaws doesn't swallow him all. Part of his body gets stuck like in the teeth and the throat. Eventually, Dennis Quaid, who plays Mike, he has like a hook or something. He's under the water. And, he takes that hook. It's like a long hook on a pole. Takes that hook, pulls the pin that the dead body is holding, causes the grenade to explode. We get this really cool burst of red blood, in the water and this and that. And then we get to see a really bad 3D effect of the upper and lower jaw of the shark coming towards the camera. Looks like shit. But again, I guarantee you, or I'm pretty sure it would have looked cool in 3D on the big screen. This movie is like a slasher movie to me. I didn't realize that. I didn't know what I was getting into. You have scenes of stalking, and again, to a great score. I love the shot of the water skiers, and they're on top of each other's shoulders, and you have that shark fin coming up right behind them. The shark fin just coming out of the water, following them, and you have that great tension. You don't know who's going to get eaten, who's going to not get eaten. That whole sequence is so great. And then when they see it happen and everyone freaks out, Dennis Quaid, when he's trying to get everybody out of the water and he's going nuts and just yelling and screaming, he's driving a boat, he's driving a golf cart. He admitted that he was on coke in pretty much every scene in this movie, and you believe it because of the way he fucking drives these things. He flips down a hill while driving the golf cart. He literally almost takes out people when he's on the speedboat and goes up onto the beach. He's insane. But I love it because it's so over the top. This movie, as air quotes, bad as it is, Jaws 3 or Jaws 3D from 1983, is it worth the hate? Absolutely not. You can't see this with the glare, it's bright, whatever. I had so much fun with this movie. I had a freaking, there you go, you can see a little bit better. I had a freaking blast with this. And like I said, there's scenes where it's typical slasher movie. Jaws eats, I think it's a baby shark, two guys in like an inflatable raft, eats them underwater. You don't see that, but then suddenly you see the raft, you hear a big explosion, you see the raft dragged under the water. Just because, why not? Lots of fun. I did not realize, maybe it's because my expectations were so low, I don't know. Is Jaws 3, again, why am I doing this? You can't see that. There you go. Whatever. Is Jaws 3 worth the hate? In my opinion, absolutely not. I had a lot of fun. Good characters, fun over-the-top performances. The set design is really cool. I mean, the whole thing with the dolphins was kind of stupid and cheesy. I mean, that freeze frame at the end, that was just like the shit on the icing of the cake, you know what I mean? That was pure 80s. But overall, I mean, good characters, good set design. You really feel claustrophobic when you're in that fucking, like I said, part of the park that's under the water. Fuck that, no, won't do it. When the water's coming in, that's intense. You don't know how these people are going to get out. So you have some good, you can have good scenes of intensity and what's going to happen. Shark looks fine. Decent gore for what it is. God bless them. You know, the 2D, 3D effects look fine. Overall, Jaws 3D, is it worth the hate? Nope. Had a lot of fun. So that's it. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. Click the bell, all that crap. Comment below. Tell me what you think. Is Jaws 3 worth the hate? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Do you have no desire to watch it? Thank you for, if you've been with me on this journey every day this week for Shark Week. Coming up, obviously, if I did Jaws 3D, Jaws 3, whatever you want to call it. Jaws the Revenge is next. And then I got a few other things. Throw it in there from here or there. Up until Saturday night, live stream, watch along of Shark Exorcist. Yeah. Cheers.